Do you love Stray Kids and reading? Probably not. I feel like I'm aiming for a very weird niche with this video, but it's not going to stop me trying. Hello, my name's Poppy, and today I'm going to be recommending you a book based on your Stray Kids bias, because I love reading, I love Stray Kids, I might as well put them together, so Lego. I'm going to start with the youngest and work my way up to the oldest. Seems very fitting for the whole vibe that Stray Kids have going on. The book that I picked for Drawing Biases is this book. That's a lie. It wasn't this book. It's the first book in this book series, but I don't have the first one because I listened to it on audiobook, so I'll insert a picture somewhere. The book is called Spellslinger. It's by Sebastian de Castel. It follows this young mage Kellen as he goes through these trials and these exams so that he can unlock his magic powers, basically, but something happens to him and he meets this traveller called Various Parfat. She starts to act as his mentor as what he's going through kind of like gets harder and harder. And there's also this squirrel cat thing called Rikus that comes into it, who's very funny and very good. And the reason that I chose this book series for people who bias drawing is because there's something very, very youthful about it, very fun, very youthful, without seeming childish. And also Rikus, the squirrel cat character, reminds me of drawing sometimes. He's kind of feral, the squirrel cat character, and the way that Jongin acts to his other members, very reminiscent of that, makes me laugh very much and I love it. Next is Sungmin. For Sungmin, I picked this book, Old Toffer's Book of Consequential Dogs by Christopher Reid, and it has illustrations by Elliot Elam, and the illustrations, let me find one. The illustrations in this book are absolutely stunning. There's quite a few of them, and the colour palette used is just so cute. It's poetry and it has little poems of all the things that these dogs get up to in the day. This one was kind of obvious for the Sunwind stands, but it's cute, like he is obviously. Also, his representative animal is a dog, so I thought it fit really well. And his little dog teddy that he has, yes, very cute. For Felix stands, I recommend this book, Heartstopper by Alex Osmond. This is actually a graphic novel, and you don't have to buy the physical versions because you can read it for free online. The one that I read it on, I obviously have the physical version as well, but the platform that I read it on is called Tapas. I think there's another one that I can't quite remember the name of, so I'm sorry, but this book is really sweet and cute and very gay, and I love that for this. It follows this boy called Charlie, and he meets this other boy called Nick, and things happen from there. They fall in love. You follow Charlie through these ups and downs and his relationship with Nick as it develops and his making of friends and overcoming this bullying. There are a lot of trigger warnings for this book that I'd recommend you look up before reading it. There's some of bullying, homophobia, eating disorders, etc. So just beware of that before you read it. But I would recommend this book for Felix because it is so sweet, it is so cute. Everything that happens gets better, which is so good to read sometimes. I think this sweetness and this goodness represents Felix perfectly. It's not the straightest thing ever, and neither's Felix, so yes. And for Jisung, I chose this book called The Rotters Club by Jonathan Coe. It is amazing. The first 100 pages or so are quite slow, but you just have to get through the first 100 pages, then it is amazing. And this book follows this boy as he grows up in Birmingham in the 70s. It talks a lot about politics. It's really good. It's so good. I feel like that undersold it a bit, but it's amazing. There's so much like nostalgia and this bitterness that comes with coming of age that is put into this book. And the reason I chose this book for Jisung was because of a lot of that like nostalgia and bitterness that you get in this book, because I think that is also represented in the songs that Jisung writes, like 19 and the Skiz player. Do you say it's Skiz or is it SKZ? I say Skiz. Anyway, the Skiz player that came out recently, Alien, that he wrote and sang, reminds me so much of this and of like feeling out of place. It's beautiful, the songs are beautiful, this book is beautiful. It reminds me so much of what Jisung aims for in his songwriting, so I thought it was a good book to choose for that one. Next, do you like pretty boys who are perhaps a tad overdramatic at times? Boy, do I have the book for you. The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. It's a very popular book. It's a classic. Probably heard of it before, but if you've not, I'll sum up what happens. Basically, this book tells the story of Dorian Gray, this young, beautiful man who wishes that his portrait, his like painting, would age rather than him. So then the portrait does start aging rather than him, and as the portrait ages, he stays the same, and he stays as beautiful as he is, and it becomes a secret that weighs on him a lot. It shows him as he like goes downhill, as he becomes more and more corrupt, and it's so beautifully written, like Oscar Wilde. Amazing. This book is beautiful and elegant and graceful, and it just really fits Hyunjin for those reasons. The book I chose for Changbin stands is Skulduggery Pleasant by Derek Landy. It's part of a series. I absolutely adore these books. They're kind of aimed at like kids, like maybe 11-year-olds. That does not stop them being absolutely hilarious and amazing and so good. It follows this young girl called Valkyrie Kane, and she meets this sorcerer, this living skeleton called Skulduggery Pleasant, and then everything unfolds from there. It's about her as she gets deeper and deeper into this world of sorcerers. They save the world a whole bunch of times. The characters are amazing. I chose this book for Changbin because of its unexpected funniness, and that's kind of the vibes he has in a way, because you look at him and he's kind of scary. He's very intimidating, and then you kind of realise that he's genuinely hilarious and an idiot, and that's kind of what this book is. It has a dark vibe. He likes to think he has a dark vibe. He does not. Next book, next person, Lino Mino. For him, I picked Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. This is a popular book. You might have heard of it. It's really good. This book follows this group of 6 people as they break into the Ice Court, which is this like castle. They have to break in, they have to break a hostage out, and they have to get away somehow. It's got magic, it's got lots of representation of different body types, races, personalities, gender, sexualities. I chose this one for Mino because of how the characters can come across at first. When you first get into Stray Kids, he comes across as a little bit cold, and uncaring for the others, but you slowly realise that he just shows that in a different way, and that's what this book is all about. It's about the love the characters have for each other and how that grows. This book is like serious without sacrificing humour. It's also powerful, you know, like his dancing. That was a really flimsy connection to make, but I made it nonetheless. Next, we have the leader of Stray Kids. We have my bias, the love of my life, Mr. Bang-chan. This was the hardest book to choose because he is my bias, I think, and it felt like it had to be absolutely perfect. The book that I picked for Chan Stands is The Inexplicable Logic of My Life by Benjamin Elia Seance. I'm so sorry if I pronounced that wrong. This book is one of my favourite books. It follows this young man called Sal as he goes through all these like trials in his life. Things just change immediately. He seemed very sure of himself with his like gay father. He was Mexican American. He was very sure of himself, and then everything just seemed to go wrong at once. And not only do we have his story of him coming to terms with the new things in his life, but we also have the story of his friends. We have Sam and we have Faito. Both of them brilliantly thought out characters. It made me cry so many times. This book also deals with this like found family trope, which I absolutely adore, and I felt like that really fit into what Stray Kids like wants from their group, especially in the way that Chan refers to them all as his family. This book is also really well thought out, really deep, really meaningful, and that's how he comes across when he communicates with people, so that's why I thought it fit him as well. And not only that, but this book is one of my favourite things ever, and he is also one of my favourite things ever, so that's why I put them together. I would really recommend reading this. And now we have one more. Ooh, bet you weren't expecting this. You probably were, but OT8 stands, people who cannot pick a Stray Kids bias no matter how hard they try. I get that, I do get that, it's so hard. So I thought I'd pick a book especially for you, and that book is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book is also pretty popular, you might have heard of it. This book follows singer Daisy Jones as she joins this band, as this band like gets bigger and bigger, and everything that comes with fame and everything that comes after fame in a way as well. It's told through interviews, and it also deals with like family, with love, with everything. It's so good. I can't recommend this book enough, and I recommended this book for OT8 stands because I just felt like it fit, even though that's not a reason. I felt like it fit with everything that Stays want to get out of Stray Kids in a way, and the way the band feels about their music I feel like could be reflected onto Stray Kids. This book is so good. I would definitely recommend you read it regardless of whether you like Stray Kids or not. So that is it. That is the end. I hope I encouraged you to pick up a book, to read something new maybe. I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. Yeah, stan Stray Kids. Stan reading. Anyway, like and subscribe. if you feel like it. Follow me on Instagram if you want to keep up to date with me. Hope you have a nice day, a nice evening, a nice night, whatever you're doing. Goodbye.